Jackie is happy she's on vacation because goop. I'm Sam.
You never forget your first time. Am I right, Laurie? This is Slime City on Stinker Madness. Oh yeah, and I'm Justin. Pulled a Jackie. Hold a Jackie there, forgot my name.
This is 1853's Smime Pity.
When she leaves, her presence is still felt. Everywhere I go, something always reminds me of her.
Oh, God.
This is a podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam.
Hi.
Jackie and Spirit. This week on the show, we got a Slime Goop Fest from 1989-ish. 88. Some sources say 88, some say 89, so I'm thinking that this was shelved.
I got it from the horse's mouth.
Okay,
I got done with it way before you, so I watched an interview with him about it. So I got the real cut, and all the shit on Wikipedia is wrong.
Gotcha. Okay, Slime City currently streaming on Tubi TV, starring no one I've ever heard of, or made by anybody I've ever heard of. Sam, why don't you just go ahead and tell me who these people are?
They're Gregory Lamberson and his friends.
Okay, all right. Gregory Lamberson and his friends. Done. That's all the info I need.
Yeah, so it's the principal actor who was like Robert Sabin in the film, but then is Craig Sabin later in his career as a producer because he doesn't really do a lot of acting outside of Greg's movies.
Okay. And
the cinematographer all worked on When I Was a Teenage Zombie in 1984 is what he said. They worked on that in 84, and When I Was a Teenage Zombie was officially released in 1987, so that one took some time to get some wheels on it.
Yeah.
Which he was also talking about, you shoot these horror movies that are pretty cheesy in 16 millimeter, and it takes a while to put some wheels on these things. So he was like, oh, we're going to, not make any of those same mistakes. And he's like, we made our own mistakes. And I'm like, after watching that, because the Wikipedia and a couple other sources on the internet said $100,000 on the budget, but he said $50K.
Okay. All right.
More than once. He said $50K in the interview. And I'm like, I buy $50K. And he said that they basically got it up and running on $35,000 of mostly their own and their parents' money. And then the other monies came from a guy that was famous for being the guy who owned the rights to King Kong or something like that.
Huh.
Get the other $15,000 and get it into distribution. This guy apparently, no one wanted Friday the 13th. I can't remember his name. I should know that. I should have looked this up because it's relevant. Bill Zilmerson.
Yeah.
He bought the rights to Friday the 13th from whoever distributed MGM or something, and they were like, this is not going to work. This is going to be crappy. So he bought it away from him, and then all of a sudden the horror thing explodes, and they're like, we need that back. And he's like, well, it'll be this much. And they're like, that's fine. And so he started his fortune by buying a movie for X amount and selling it for 3 times as much to the people that he bought it from.
Right.
Okay. And then he gives these guys 15 or 20K to finish up their little picture. Some of the money that they raised was actually their paychecks because I think they worked on he was officially listed as a second unit director on Brain Damage, which is released the same year.
Which is the movie we almost did instead of this one, but
that's what I thought was interesting. I was like, oh, he worked on Brain Damage, and I don't know where they are concurrent. Brain Damage probably was a little bit more of a fluid ship that went through production and to release a little bit more fluid. This one might have, though. He said he wrote it in 1984 when he was working on When I Was a Teenage Zombie, but once they got the money, they basically just made it, and because the guy that they got the rest of the money from was somebody who liked money, he put it on shelves kind of as quick as he could. So this probably got turned around relatively rapidly in 1988, concurrently with Brain Damage, which he also worked on.
I'm surprised by that. This reeks of a weekend project film. Like it would have taken years to make, but I'm surprised to hear that.
Well, I'm not certain that he didn't, like, when I say concurrently, like they were working on Brain Damage and they borrowed some shit and they probably shot this. I'm not going to say that he didn't do that. He seemed he was trying to be on the up and up in the interview about his craft, say. It was funny because it was in a screenwriting podcast, and he was saying, I've been on hundreds and hundreds of podcasts since the internet started, and no one's ever done a screenplay interview with me, and it's about goddamn time. And I was like, really? Because I had to pause it at the end and rewind it 7 times to see what the disembodied head said, and I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
I put the subtitles on, and it's like, that's not what it said.
Oh, no. I didn't even think about that, but...
I did it, and it's not what he said, okay, so we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing about the Lamberson is that after this, he did Undying Love with basically the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing until this gets kind of re-released in a package on DVD. And then there's enough money that he starts making movies again. And now he's kind of doing one every couple of years. Just did one with a girl in a tank top that's got boobs and she's shooting a gun. I've already forgotten what it's called.
Killer
the only
Rat.
one of No, that's from 2015.
Right,
That's the one I remembered. I was like, if I'm going to watch another one of these guys' movies, I'm definitely going to check out Killer Rack next. So, but Killer Rack seems like it's right in that sweet spot of super bad computer graphics.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Could be dicey.
Yeah, that's what there is about this. The people, I mean, that's, as I said, the main actor, he does some producing here and there, but not an illustrious career. The gal that plays the 2 parts, the girlfriend and the neighbor girlfriend, she's in his movies. And when they did, they came back and did Slime City Massacre.
Okay.
And then did a Blu-ray, I think, and something like that. She's in that. Like, he brings everybody back, I think, from Slime City to do the new Slime City, but then she's just not in anything but the movies that she wants to be in. He's like, you could be in the movie again. And she's like, but I have a job, I guess. Maybe she's retired at this point. She's got to be in her 60s.
Yeah, sure.
70s, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's what there is on this thing.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot. The crummy thing is that, like, I'm curious about Slime City Massacre because it did get the Blu-ray feature and this didn't. But I want to get to Brain Damage before that. And that's going to be a really long time because we can really only do these when it's just you and I.
Yeah, I know. I think, and I could be wrong, so I don't want any you're wrong idiot on this one because it's hard to sift through because everything I read on the internet was wrong after I read the interview or listened to the interview, that it's like, nah. I think that the Slime City Massacre is like direct to or something like that. Like, it could have been released, like the release of that and the re-release of this is like the cash that gets his wheels rolling again.
Yeah, right.
And then the world of computers makes it to where he can really, really make these things for no money. And then they probably are more fun than an Asylum picture, but have the same production quality.
Right, which could be not good. This is very practical effects, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's great. And I think that you can do bad computer effects. I mean, the one with Casper that we watched, because it was so campy and it was so Casper, it was like you just looked around the bad CGI. I feel like if you're goofy enough with the bad CGI, you might be able to accomplish the same things that you were with the goop in this sort of period with Street Trash and this.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Maybe. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just hoping that somebody can fucking make the bad special effects, visual effects, rather, palatable, because no one has really made the bad visual effects palatable.
Yeah, because let's just go ahead and call these what they are. They're bad visual effects. It's cheesy and corny, and if you've ever gone into a VHS store and played VHS roulette and pulled home a horror movie that you never heard of, never has any claim, Stan Winston didn't do the effects. They all look about like this. They're all pretty cheesy, budget. It's not like freaking Stanley Kubrick is doing the effects on these, right? So they're fun. It's cheesy. That's what you kind of want. And
for practical special effects versus visual effects, this is, I feel a pretty strong effort because he's using shit that, like, half of the crap he's using is Jell-O. Mm-hmm. He's got some latex molds for the masks and that.
Right.
They do okay. But it's the same as, like, street trash. Like, we can't make anything convincingly gore, so let's make something that's
outlandish.
Very colorful and outlandish, but it works in context of the little story world that they've created where it's just called slime, and you're like, yep, that's slimy. You're not lying to me. I believe you.
I got what I paid for. Slime. All right, let's get into this. So basically, we've got Alex and Laurie. They're our principals here. Alex is in the market for a new apartment. He sees an ad and he goes up to this place, and it's kind of in a rundown building, even though it's not that bad. I mean, it seems like he's got okay neighbors. It's in a decent neighborhood. It's just got some graffiti here and there.
Even in the pre-rent is too goddamn high. This is a pretty nice apartment for New York.
Yeah, right. It's got a kitchen and a bathroom, and that's more than most of them have.
It's got a separate bedroom. This is a fucking full one bedroom. This is an executive's apartment. I lived in one of these for 10 years and I fucking loved it.
I like that they go in and she's like, this one doesn't have cockroaches. Look, it's clean. And he's like, yeah, but I don't like that lady's overconfidence. She thinks I'm going to want it. So I'm not real sure. Like, dude, you fucking asshole.
You are a douche.
I don't like her attitude. She thinks it's nice. Well, yeah.
It's kind of like sets it up right at the beginning that you're like, I don't think I like you.
I don't think Alex is cool.
Yeah, I don't think you're cool at all. You're batting, you're punching above your weight with this lady, so I don't care if bad things happen to you, and it kind of works.
And we should delve into who they are a little bit more. They're young, college students, I believe, probably at NYU.
Yes. He is, art student in New York. You gotta fucking
take your pick.
Like 150 fucking schools, probably. Right. I think Lamberson himself went to visual arts for a year before he dropped out because he was like, it was just, I was going to school and it wasn't conducive to how many movies I wanted to watch. It's like, really? You just dropped out, bud. It's fine. You made your movies. You've done a good job with your life. Good job, but that's a crappy excuse. I was getting in the way of my movie watching.
Yeah, I was really busy.
I was really busy watching movies.
You mean you were stoned?
Yeah. So he's going to whatever. He's supposed to be a painter. We don't see him paint. He sketches a lot. Did you take inventory of his sketches that were on the walls throughout the film?
Not particularly.
He likes to sketch naked people sitting down.
Okay. All right.
Awkwardly.
Awkward sitting with no clothes on.
Awkward naked sitting. Okay. Like there's one in particular that's a naked man and a naked woman sitting on either side of a table, not looking at each other, just staring off. Well, we tried and that didn't go well, so let's just reflect on how poorly our sex went.
Yeah, see, it says something. I think he's a good artist. He calls it the quandary of man. Okay. All right, so he takes the apartment and he moves in, and we get introduced to his buddy Jerry. Jerry's a great guy.
Also unconfirmed. I looked at images. I looked at because he's not listed in the cast.
That it's not Red Brown.
No, I think that's
Red Brown.
Gregory Lamberson.
Oh, okay.
I think that's him.
All right.
I looked at a lot of pictures and I'm like, man, because of how much time was in between this and him getting cash and back into the game, there's years and years and years from when this was shot to where there's this cavalcade of photos of him now. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's him, but I can't tell.
Okay. All right. I wouldn't be surprised. Jerry's helping him move in, and the only thing he's helping him move in is a piss-stained twin mattress.
That's not pee.
I don't know what it is.
That's the fruits of having a virgin girlfriend. If she's a virgin. He's just throwing Yaz on the mattress and crying.
Gotcha. Okay.
Why?
Well, if you got a piss-stained, spooge-stained mattress and it's a twin, you don't ask your buddy to help you move it in. Twin mattresses, you should be able to move it yourself, you nitty.
Yeah.
Hey, Jer, you want to help me move that gross-ass mattress again?
Yep.
God damn it.
Did you just, like, jack off on this for, like, 3 years? He's like, yeah. And Jer's like, mind if I rub one out on here?
Me too.
It's just, I mean... Seems like a thing to do.
I got no place else to go.
Yeah.
With my...
because in the fucking scene, the goddamn... When he's helping, the neighbor comes out, and it's the same actress as the girlfriend.
Nicole.
But now only sultry.
Uh-huh. She's punk.
Totally...
She's punk sultry.
She's punk sultry. And Jer is rubbing his junk the whole time she's talking to them.
He is either rubbing his junk or he's rubbing the spooge-stained mattress over his junk.
Yeah, which is why I made the joke, because Jer wants to rub one out on that thing.
He sure does.
He's just, what a walking hard on this guy.
Yeah, he is. Sure he's not Red Brown? Okay, so...
Red Brown slays ass. What are you talking about? That guy hasn't jacked off in 38 years.
Tor Thunderson. Stacked Bacon Man. Okay, so Jerry wants to move in now. He's like, I'll give you... This puts the rent is too damn high as well. Jerry offers $50 a month and half the utilities to move into this one bedroom, which implies that rent is like 100?
No, Jerry's not good at math.
Okay.
He's like, I'll give you $50. I'm like, $50 isn't... Even in 88, this is probably a $400 a month apartment, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never had my finger on the pulse of the New York real estate market, other than the guy that ran as the rent is too damn high for the rent is too damn high party.
Correct.
Which leads me to believe that the rent is too damn high.
It might be too damn high. But especially you weren't paying attention in 1988 what the rent was, because you were 10.
I was 10, yeah.
So Alex wants Laurie to move in, but she's a virgin. So she loves him, but they've been dating for a year, so I think she wants him to put a ring on it first, but later it seems like he has put a ring on it.
He has.
So, and then we'll get into all that. Her motivations as far as their relationship are a little dubious at best. But she's like, no, now's not the right time. He's like, oh, damn it, I'm really horny.
Have you seen my mattress?
Yeah, it's gross.
It looks like a Jackson Pollock.
I mean,
only one color.
When we tried to bend it around the door, we couldn't, and it snapped in half.
I thought that was just a floral pattern. No, it was blank when I got it.
It's a crime scene. Okay.
Do not turn that black light on.
Okay, so they then have another encounter with their neighbor, with their neighbor Roman. Somebody calls him Roman later, but then he's back to Roman. Not sure which it is.
Yeah, it's probably Roman, but people say it wrong.
Yeah.
I hate that lady. She says my name wrong.
Like it's spelled? It's Roman. No, it's spelled Roman.
It's spelled Roman. You need the accent mark for Roman.
Yeah.
Or a different letter.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's if you ever find yourself in Jamaica, that's what they call the caviar producers. Romans. I did it again. No. We can't keep doing these Mon jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like Roman because his job is to write one line of poetry a year.
Yeah. It's a lifetime work, like was it the Linklater movie that he took 10 years making so he could have real aging? Boyhood, yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing the same thing.
Yeah, except for he's going to do it until he dies. Oh, God. Okay, so it's 1986. Reagan sucks and so does Nancy. No, that's what I did last year. Fuck, man. Writing one line of poetry a year is hard. Like, what do you... Yeah, whatever, Roman.
So he's on... He had a big dick. Was his line for this year because
for 87?
There once was a man from Nantucket was the first line?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a reach, sorry.
Yeah, it's actually whose dick was so big.
Okay.
He could suck it.
I don't even know the Nantucket limerick.
Yeah,
what is it?
There once was a man from Nantucket whose dick was so big he could suck it.
That's how it goes?
The rest of it, I have no clue.
God damn it, I was wishing... I have never known this.
Yeah. Well,
I've never known the Nantucket limerick.
There you go.
St. Patrick's weekend. Thought it was going to be this year. Apparently not. I'll forget about it for 10 more years.
I think then it was like, his dick was so big he could suck it. His wife was a bore. She'd give him no more, so he put all his spooge in a bucket or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And then delivered it to his neighbor. Said, here you go, pal. Oh, that doesn't rhyme. Okay, so, Nicole, she brings home some Bon Jovi looking dude and starts banging him, and it keeps Alex up at night to her moaning until he hears a man scream horribly.
Blood curdling.
Yeah. And nothing comes of it. Or maybe something did come of it.
He's like, should I check on that? And he's like, well, the noise stopped, so I'm going to go back to sleep now.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of a douche.
So what happened?
She murdered him. They talk about it later.
Did they? Okay, all right, I must have missed that part.
She's going to get goopy. She knows about it, and so she kills him.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk about that later.
Right. We'll talk about that later. All right. So Roman, he invites him over for dinner. He's down looking in the trash, and he's like, hey, buddy, I'm just looking for... what are you looking for? I'm not going to tell you, but you want to have some dinner later? Because I might have found some. That sounds pretty gross, Roman, but I don't have any friends other than Jerry, and Jerry seems like a cool guy, but I need to hang out with you for X amount of reasons. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So he goes to work. He works at a VHS store, which is ironic for...
Oh, here's a fun, because the only cast of note is right now. The guy that plays the owner of the video store, who will later be thrown some racist shade in a very light way, but I was like, that's still racist. He was credited as Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
And will later have to be credited as Ellen Lewis Rickman because people kept saying, you're not fucking Alan Rickman.
You're not Alec Rickman.
You are not fucking Alan Rickman.
I was once in a movie called Slime City.
I was the video store owner who had two lines. Yeah. Totally different than the real Alan Rickman. Even though this man is actually named Alan Rickman.
Right. He is also the real Alan Rickman. Okay, so Laurie comes in. She's like, hey, I got to study or whatever. Excuses. I don't know, but I can't play tonight, so you might as well go have dinner with that dumpster diver. Oh, God. Okay, fine. So at dinner, Roman serves him up some goop, which he declares as Himalayan yogurt.
Himalayan yogurt.
It's clearly goop.
It could be yogurt.
Have you seen yogurt? This is goop.
So the Go-Gurt is in a tube, but if you were to put it in a bowl, it would look like that because they've made it colors so it's fun for kids. They're like,
even though they don't see it.
Yep. They're like, here, kids, have food coloring cancer so that you can have more fun.
That you don't see.
You don't see it, but we're still gonna give you the cancer, like the Skittles, folks.
Yeah.
I had some Skittles. They were really good. Just make it not cancerous so I can keep eating them, please.
Yeah, get that yellow number 5 out of there. I'm tired of my ding-dong shrieking. It's pretty goopy. He's like, oh, it's pretty good, actually. And then he's like, here, try some of this Romulan ale. And he pours him some Romulan ale and says it's from Lizzie, who is the old lady that lives there.
When we were watching, so Sandra actually watched this.
Wow.
She was like, wow. So, like, yeah, between the two of them, now Jackie's seen Street Trash and Sandra's seen this, so they don't. They've both had enough. She's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Kool-Aid," because it was just lime Kool-Aid.
Right.
Maybe it's it's the elixir, as we find out later.
Still not sure what that means, but
there's a part of this scene that works well that pays off later, where he's like, "How come yours is blue?" And he's like, "Blue's my color."
Right.
And that actually works later with what happens. So, but green is his color, and so they get schnockered on this absinthe or whatever the fuck it is.
Elixir. Yeah. So he goes home, and outside Nicole finds him, and she's like, "Hey, come on over." And he's like, "Okay, I guess I will," because she said to. So he walks over there, and she's like, "Hey, big boy." And so she bangs him on what appears to be a roll-up mattress, like a camping bed.
She also has an apartment. She's decorated her apartment in a very total eclipse of the heart fashion.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, this is a total vampire movie video. And then she calls out Zachary. She's like, Alex, Zachary. He's like,
and then she just passes out on him, and he's like,
Yep.
"I can't get up because I'm really small."
Yeah. But then he has like a vision in black and white where he's in an apartment, and there's this old monk dude, and he's like, "Here, have some of this Romulan ale." And so he does.
It's Zachary.
Right.
I've realized that because you can put it all together. Like, this stuff does pay off. Like, when he said we made a lot of mistakes, I was like, if you made a lot of mistakes, you mitigated them, bud. Because for 50 fucking K and 16 millimeter, this thing's tight.
Yeah. So he wakes up and he's covered in slime. My note is, Nicole must have been one of those gushers. I've seen it on the internet.
Yeah. Goopers. Rule 34 must apply, 4chan. Get on it. She's a gooper.
And he calls Jerry up, and he's like, "Jerry, see, I told you it's not me that's ruining my mattresses. It's my lady friends." And Jerry's like, "No, bud, it's you."
He didn't answer the phone because he was too busy jacking off again.
All right, so he's goopy, and he decides to go walking around town with his skin coming off, because that's what oh my God, I don't feel good, my skin's coming off. I'm going to go walk around town. And he falls down in front of this bum's house, and he starts barfing up the Himalayan yogurt. And the bum's like, "Hey, buddy, not in my house. I don't come into your house and start barfing up all the place. Just because I live in a freaking trash can doesn't mean you can come in here and barf all over my stuff."
Yeah, and this is what makes this such a fun double feature with Street Trash, because this is like the crossover scene where you get a little bit of the bum business.
Yeah.
Kind of the same bum shenanigans that you get all the way through Street Trash, but just in this one scene. Here's your change bag. Then he fucking beats him to death with a pipe.
Yeah, he starts braining him with a pipe. And
then beating a man to death with a pipe cures his goopiness.
He's no longer
and
goopy.
What happens to me is I sit up and go, I was about to accuse this of being a vampire picture.
Okay.
And it is not. Because it sets up like it's going to be a vampire picture.
Like he's going to bite the guy and...
Well, she's like... He talks about, you gotta, if you want to drink this stuff, then you got to listen to her stories. And then the gal is only up at night, and she took the trash out at 3:00 in the morning. So I'm like, this is very vampy.
Okay.
I'm not in. And then this happens, and I'm like, oh, good. This is not a vampire picture. And her total eclipse of the heart apartment is super vampy.
Right. Okay. All right. Yep. Not a vampire. All right. So he runs home and he cleans up his clothes, and Ramon comes by and he's like, "Oh yeah. You ever drink that stuff and get hallucinations? Because I just totally tripped out and thought that I got goopy and killed a bum." And Ramon's like, "Oh yeah, that happens all the time."
Ramon reiterates the fact that I quit doing acid the first time I had this.
Didn't need it anymore. Laurie calls and he's like, I don't feel good. I'm pretty sick. She's like, oh, you didn't go to your freaking test today, your final exam. And he's like, oh yeah, I was super sick. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, since you were so sick, you missed like a very important school date. How about you come by and meet my parents for dinner?
There's two things that are odd here. He says, I'm sick. Mm-hmm. She doesn't give up immediately. Parents don't want to meet you if you're sick.
Right.
So sick that you'd miss an exam, and he's like, I'll have to make it up, which you can't do.
Correct.
Without, like...
Doctor's note.
Or you even gotta, like, at this point you call, because the secretary's at a public institution of whatever level in New York will get the message, too. Like, we forget before emails and voicemails and text messages how efficient human communication vocally could have been. Or was. He didn't do any of that.
No.
He got an F.
So here's what he did, is the next day he went into the office and in a handwritten note, he hands it over to the teacher's aide. And she's like, it says here that you got goopy and killed a bum. Do you have a doctor's excuse? No, I got goopy and killed a bum. Well, I'm sorry, that's an excused absence. That's an F.
It's an F. Also, I have to call the police.
No, TAs don't give a shit about any of that stuff. They're just busy grading. Yeah,
you're right. The TA would be like, so do you need to see a counselor about your murder?
Do you have a doctor's note, though? You're going to need a doctor's note to do that. To see the counselor, you need a doctor's note. This is the 80s, Sam. You couldn't get away with shit without a doctor's note. Okay.
You still can't.
Yeah, you can. You just go, I don't feel good, and you get healthcare. It's Joe Biden's America, Sam. I don't want to go to work today. They can't fire you. And
that sucks.
That sucks?
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Wow. Unless you're hiring.
Fuck hiring.
I've been hiring for 2 years.
Nobody wants to have a job anyways.
I need somebody that wants a job. I still work for a living, goddammit.
Invent a time machine. Go back to the 80s and say, you have to be enslaved to me.
Yeah. Here's your Reagan-era pork chops, which we will see later on screen.
Reagan-era pork chops. Oh, God. Okay.
I'm pausing it. I was at the fucking store yesterday in the meat section, and I seriously looked over these pork chops to make sure they weren't Reagan-era pork chops for like 2 minutes, and then went, well, Sandra's not going to want pork chops anyway. They look pretty good. 2 big fat pork chops for $5. I should have got them anyway.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Man, pork chops are cheap. Just don't get it. Everybody bitches, oh, Joe Biden is in inflation. I can't eat fucking T-bones anymore. I can't afford the T-bone. Fuck, pork is good. Eat it.
Pork is fucking delicious.
And cheap. Fucking stupid Americans.
Just so good. Also, eggs are down to like $2.18 at the Winco here.
Yeah. See, yeah. I buy the free range shit. I buy an 18-pack of free range shit, certified humane, because I refuse to buy murder chicken eggs. And they're only like $4. Like, fuck off. Save the environment. Spend an extra $1.50 and quit complaining about the goddamn inflation. It's fine.
Here, I'm not mad about getting the normal eggs because I know where they come from. They're like from right over by my house.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
They don't ship them that far, and I've been to that facility. It doesn't make me want to barf when I walk in there, so it's decent enough. I'm fine with those eggs.
They cut their beaks off? Oh, we got to move on. We can't have a fucking egg episode.
Eggs.
Yeah.
There's eggs later.
Yeah, okay. All right, so she's like, come over for dinner. He's like, duh, okay. And so to prep for dinner for meeting the parents for the first time, when he doesn't really have a job and he's got kind of a dead-end career because he's just painting naked people looking weird.
He works at the video store. He's got an awesome job.
Yeah, that's gonna work out long term. He's gonna retire on his video store pension, Sam. But he's not even gonna make it 10 years in that market.
Fuck you. Both of us wanted to work at the video store when we were in college. Neither one of us had the fucking chops. Jackie did. Jackie fucking worked at the video store.
Yeah, for like 3 months, dude.
I know, she didn't have the chops either.
It wasn't a long-term career back then.
But when you're in college,
Yeah, and
it's a good job.
And you've got your little princess is dating the video store guy. You're gonna look down on him pretty hard. Oh, an artist. Oh, great. And work at the video store. Oh, okay. So in order to prep for this big dinner, he has some more Himalayan yogurt.
Yeah, gets full. Did you eat before you came here? And he's like, I heard there was going to be Reagan-era pork chops, which there was. Those thin ones, why'd they cut them so thin back then? That's so dumb.
Yeah.
They just burn immediately. They turn to rubber.
Yeah, no, they sell those now. They're called breakfast pork chops because you cook them in the same pan with your egg. So
and your bacon so that it doesn't turn into rubber.
Yeah. Well,
okay, that makes sense, but
you don't cook them for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes over to Nicole's house. He's like, or her apartment, that pudding, that wasn't enough for me. I need some of that vino. So he opens up her fridge and just starts pouring down vino down his throat.
He's chugging this shit.
Yeah, the elixir. Yum. Meanwhile, Laurie's at the park talking to her friend, who I think is Jerry's girlfriend, but I don't really care because she's only in the scene and it's not relevant. And she bumps into this rando who's like, ooh, your lover is in trouble. I sense things. Now give me $1.
Give me $1. Like, I am the world's greatest seance, but I still need $1.
Just $1 will do.
What kind of rent does she pay on her business that $1 works out?
Lady, get out of my hair. She says, quote, $1 is a small price to pay for a soul.
So is there like a vending machine upstairs that she doesn't have the keys to? Where she's like, well, I want some salted nuts. I'll do this basically for the salted nuts.
Pay me in salted nuts for a soul. Okay, so Alex, he meets the other old lady that is the caretaker or whatever. Her name is Ruby. And he's like, take me down to the wine cellar. She's like, behold, Zachary's wine cellar. And he's like, okay, it's goop and the elixir, which I think is wine or Romulan ale or Kool-Aid, whatever. And there's various colors of goop.
Color-coded goop.
Color-coded goop. Oh, hey, you got some books up here, too. This is not just a food and wine shelf. It's a bookshelf, too. So she shows him Flesh Control by Zachary, the cult leader guy of this movie, who, down in the basement, years ago, started a cult. And these people were like, we read your book, L. Ron, and it was pretty good. And he's like, kill yourselves. And they're like, okay. And so they did.
Jim Jones high five.
Yeah, Jim Jones high five. Not up high because you're dead. It's down low because you're on the ground dead. So at the dinner with the folks, things are going not really great. Dad's like, so where you go to school at NYU? And he's like, no, it's further away than that.
The VAC, I go to the Visual Arts Collective.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, have you thought about commercial art? And he's like, no, I really have an artist's integrity. And he's like, no, you have to do graphic design if you go to that school. You will draw a dog in a dune buggy jumping over a sand dune.
Well, can it be?
And you'll like it.
Can it be a naked dog sitting in an awkward position? Because that's what my forte is.
No, you're gonna do what they fucking tell you, and you're gonna like it.
Integrity. I'm out of here.
When I had to draw the dog driving the dune buggy jumping over the sand, it turned out pretty good. I was happy with it.
Oh, Alex would have been mortified.
Alex sucks.
Alex sucks.
I can draw naked people better than that. They've got bigger dicks and bigger tits, I'll tell you that much.
And they know where to put them. None of that awkward
Not on either side of the table.
All right, so Laurie's like, oh, isn't he dreamy? I'm going to move in with him. And Alex is like, let's pump some brakes right there, baby. Things have been... Things are moving pretty fast, is what he says.
Yeah. also, she's like, I'm 22 now. And I'm like, 22-year-old virgin in 1988 in New York?
Yeah.
You're a unicorn.
Yeah. Not a unicorn I want to ride. Ugh.
Yeah.
And we'll actually get to that later. She doesn't stay a virgin, but we'll get to that later. So he's like, no, baby, no, I don't want to do that. And she's like, aw. And then he springs a leak at the dinner table and nobody notices.
He leaks on the mashed potatoes, which this is, I can't get over how perfect this Reagan era dinner is. Mm-hmm. There's like some vegetables that are not quite cooked all the way, some mashed potatoes without butter or gravy, just mashed potatoes.
Just mashed potatoes.
Into pork chop. Sliced so thin by the butcher that there's no way to turn it into anything but rubber. And I'm like, God damn it, I hated dinner when I was 8.
Trickle down, baby. You guys are someday going to be eating that T-bone, you poor people.
Like, I actually thought when his head dripped into the mashed potatoes, I was like, you should try that now that they're not dry anymore.
I want to stir that up a little bit to see if,
Those are definitely flaked potatoes.
Oh, yeah, sure, totally.
Yeah, those are potato flakes with but just, why?
Yep. So he's like, excuse me. And he gets up and he leaves and then he goes and kills a hooker.
Well, so he's like,
excuse me. And then the scene ends.
He didn't know she was 22. She's like, I'm 22. He's like, you're 22 and you've never had to say, oh my God, I gotta leave get a hooker because I've covered my mattress in my own semen for a year and it's going to be 3 more. So I'm out.
Nobody stands up and says, where are you going, drippy head? Nobody even notices him leave. He seems to be going to the bathroom and he's going to come back after he dabs some of his head leakage away, but he doesn't. He just fucking leaves and gets a hooker after he bandages his head up with the fucking Darkman bandages.
He's Rorschaching now.
Yeah.
He's got his shit. He's got his costume with him so he can make his transformation when he needs to kill a hooker.
Well, he doesn't make his transformation. The hooker makes it for him. She's like, let's just go ahead and see what's under these bandages. Man, my hand's getting slimy for some reason. Boy, I bet you're going to be a looker under there. Is it weird that it smells bad in here? Like flesh that is old and decaying? Oh, well, let's just keep taking those sexy bandages off. Oh. Jesus, hooker lady.
Hooker lady. You're above and beyond, right? Yeah, she's working for it. Because she even said, once I get out of school, I'm going to quit doing this. And, you must be not professional hooker because you wouldn't offer anything except, hurry up and give me my money.
And then... So she gets his bandages off, sees that he's goop face, and he grabs a scalpel and cuts her face right down the middle, and she says something like, "You crazy bastard."
I wrote down what she said, and I can't find it, because it was really very close to... You're eating them.
Oh, I know.
And now you're going to eat me.
Yeah.
No.
She was unconcerned. She gets
bladed across the face. And she's like, why'd you do that?
You're crazy. You're not even crazy as in you're scary crazy. You're just crazy. Why would you do that right now? God, don't you know how hookers work? It's so bad. And awesome.
And awesome.
So, but then he cuts her throat and she's dead. Throws her body in the trash. Little street trash.
We'll meet a detective later who's very bad at his job because these trash cans are constantly full of dead bodies and the trash men just don't seem to care.
So then after killing that lady, that hooker, he goes over to Nicole's place because I don't know if he's horny still or because now he's not goopy because he killed somebody.
Yeah.
Or if he's looking for more goop to like get re-goopy, I'm not sure why he's over there. But he finds her headshot from when she was a nerd. I found your headshot. Were you auditioning for, I don't know, nerd?
Head of the class.
Yeah, head of the class.
That was happening right about then.
Right? And so Nicole is like, okay, here's the deal. Zachary told me to kill myself, so I did, and now I'm possessing the body of a dead nerd, but I needed to turn her into me because I used to be a prostitute, and yeah, that's so. Also, Zachary's in you sometimes. Sometimes when you eat the goop, Zachary's in you, but then you kill somebody and he's like, okay, I'm good for now.
And she does say, the slime must be appeased.
The slime must be appeased. Huh.
Which is awesome, because now I'm like, no shit. This is really about demon slime made by some
maybe
schmalister Fowley guy.
I don't know, dude. I got some questions here. All right, so Laurie, she goes to visit the psychic because the psychic has been like, I told you to do that yesterday. You went to dinner with that guy? What? You should have come to my little wagon that I live in, because I assume that all gypsy psychic ladies live in wagons, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, that's how that works. So she goes over there, visits the psychic, and the psychic, I like this, she says she needs to analyze her astral interior, which to me is what happens when you go to the proctologist. Hey-o.
I was going to say butt stuff, right? It's butt stuff.
Your astral interior. What else could it be?
Yeah.
What you got up there?
Not on the first date.
That's going to cost more than $1.
You have to get me a lot drunker than this.
You said $1 for a hole. I thought you said $1 per soul. God.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm in the wrong wagon. See myself out. Okay, so she says Alex is corrupted beyond saving, so don't even bother.
Yeah, way to go. That was, I'd buy that for $1, huh?
Yeah, it's too late. He's fucked.
Yeah. Hold on, wait. No, okay, no. Just leave him alone. He's fucked.
Yeah, he's done. Oh, okay, thanks. No seance stuff, or like you pour the salt around in a circle and he stands in the middle and you say ooga booga or something. None of that. No, he's done. He's absolutely done.
What did she say? Like, he's doing business with the dead.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of business? Junk bonds? Is he into junk bonds? Because that would be bad.
Bitcoin. All right, so she goes over to his place, and she finds the yogurt collection in the fridge, and she finds his Goop Man killer box, because he's got a box of to become Goop Man. He's got a box for it.
He's taking trophies too now.
I think it was just like, I can't throw away this shoe because they'll know that she was here, so I got to stick it in this. I guess I should have thrown away that shoe. I'm not okay. Goop Man needs some work.
I don't want to throw away the shoe with the dead body evidence.
Yeah, no, it would tie me into that crime scene. The shoe, they didn't know that a lady wore that.
Keeping this shoe and putting dead bodies in the trash can.
If I keep her shoe, they'll just assume, the cops will assume that I got a good deal on her shoes because I like to dress in ladies' clothing.
The detective will be like, how will you explain this? And he holds up the shoe and he's like, how else would I get back to Kansas?
Right. Dumb. D-.
D-, because you'd need both of the shoes to get back to Kansas.
I got tricked again. Okay, so he's standing there, and she's like, what's this killer Goop Man box? It's got a label on it that says that, Goop Man killer box. He's like, what are you doing here, bitch? And she's like, take your key and your ring back, you suck. And she runs out. And then I like that... I love this in movies. This is not just this movie, but she's like, I hate you, and runs out the door, and he's like, wait, come back, Laurie, and chases after her, but she closes the door that the lock is on his side of the door. Yeah. And he's like, foiled. I can't get out of my apartment. And chased her down the hall.
I feel like his character's like, I didn't really want to chase you anyway.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm gonna go murder somebody before I get goopy again.
Yeah. All right, so Lizzie finds him in the basement. Lizzie is the real old lady. And she says that everybody in the apartment was once one of the cult members, and they took over people's bodies, and it doesn't make any sense because she says that the host that Roman is living in was a poet, but Roman says he's a poet. Like, is he trying to pretend that he's still that guy? But he's not using that guy's name, just that guy's job.
Yeah, they're basically all that Steve Martin, Lily Tomlin movie.
Oh, yeah, Man with Two Brains.
Stuck in the one body together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Just the little remnant. Okay. Okay, and she says that... she mentioned something about that they did it for immortality. I think that's what the plot of this movie is.
Which, I mean, checks out because it seems to be working.
Yeah, okay. She says, your time is almost up.
And then he's like, where will I go? And she's like, well, you'll get to be in another body when we expand the apartment.
But I'm Alex, not Zach. Zachary hasn't taken over me.
No, Zachary's going to take over his body. He's going to end up in the butt stuff, astral, wherever.
Astral interior.
And then eventually they'll have enough tenants when the rent gets too damn high that they're subletting, and there's people living in the living room and people living in the bedrooms. And then he'll get a body, and that person, and they'll have to get to the next
just wait in line.
They'll expand. They'll buy the next door apartments, and then they'll get more people.
So
really, these guys are breeding like rats. If this is the plan,
so really, they are being is landlords for the afterlife, because you just gotta wait. You gotta wait for an apartment to open up, just like the rest of New York City, right? Except for that apartment's actually somebody's body that you can inhibit for the rest of time until they die, and then you got to get back in line.
Yeah,
the application process is lengthy.
And trust me, we all killed ourselves. We were tired of it. So the next time you get a body, you'll be like, this is awesome. I'm so glad. Then you're like, oh, wait, this kind of sucks.
Is there any rules that I should be aware of like getting a dead, a soul to inhabit? Yeah, no darkies. Oh.
Whoa.
Because it's 80s real estate.
Yeah.
New York,
and they tossed shade at when he was like, oh, he doesn't like me because I'm a genteel. Like, okay, that's a really clever way of Jewish slander, but it's still that, sir.
Yeah,
it's still that.
Still is. Okay. All right. So, Alex, he locks himself in his apartment. He's like, I'm going to cleanse myself. And he like dumps the elixir and the pudding in the trash and down the drain and locks himself in there. And then the very next scene, he's out walking around on the street. This detective comes up and he's like, hey, have you seen a missing prostitute? Because I think you killed her. And I'm like, what happened to your self-imposed intervention, bud?
Yeah.
I gave up. I made it like 10 minutes.
Fucking gave up with that. I put that yogurt in the trash and I was like, it's too yummy.
I
ate it out of the trash.
I could not stop thinking about it. Like, I actually wanted it more after I said I couldn't have it. You ever try to quit smoking? Hello. All right. So, detective's like, there's this missing prostitute. One of her pals said that she saw her walk into your apartment with a guy that looked like his face was melting off. Have you had your face melted off lately? He's like, Yeah.
He fits your description. Oh? What did he look like? He looked like Darkman.
He looked like Darkman.
Do I look like Darkman? No. But he had a green jacket, and you were wearing a green jacket.
Before the explosion or after? Either.
So you're saying
no, you don't look like Darkman.
Every college student in this town that has an old military surplus jacket is a suspect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This guy's a shitty detective. Look in the trash can.
He also says, well, here's the thing. Normally I just let these dead hookers go, but this one was a friend of mine. You see, she lived in my building.
My neighbor, the hooker.
She was my neighbor, the hooker.
Which means that detective. He was seeing her on a professional level. Because he's a New York City cop in the 80s. He's dirty as shit. He's on the take. He's banging the hookers for free. Living the life. Eat your heart out, LAPD.
He's like, oh, no, Marion Barry, nothing bad can happen to me. Here comes Giuliani.
He's in the middle of interrogating this man, and this guy's like, hold on, there's some blow over there. You know what? Fuck off. I don't even care.
Whew. All right, meanwhile, Meanwhile, Nicole is doing a kooky dance in her underwear.
This isn't really a kooky dance, and Sandra and I were watching this, and I was able to pin it down. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's gross." This is the state of exotic dancing in 1980.
It really is. It absolutely is. It's kooky though. It's a kooky dance.
She's good.
Is she? I thought it was pretty kooky.
Phony dancing, because that's the thing. It's like
it's supposed to be sexy. I thought it was kooky.
Okay, so when you go to a strip, I don't go to them, but on those rare occasions where you're forced to go to a strip club and you see it, you're like, oh yeah, this is sexy. Mm-hmm. No, it's all dumb.
It's all dumb.
It's all dumb.
Like, if you go to like a Vegas one, and they're doing the some of the athletics on the pole is kind of interesting. Like, I couldn't do that. Yeah. Like, that's some Cirque du Soleil stripping. Do I find it boner inducing? Definitely not. But no. I admire your athleticism. You know what is the hot though? Is the burlesque. Still hot.
Burlesque is hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Because it's more of a tease.
Yeah.
But like for the strip club, they don't even need to dance. Just like pull them out and whack them together.
Show me that. Show me that butthole.
Show me. Yeah. Who?
Hey, there it is. There it is. That's right there.
I would like to see the astral interior, please. How much would that cost?
$1
throws you onto your face in the parking lot.
Okay, so I don't know what she's doing though, because this kooky dance causes Alex's sheet to fly off of him while he's trying to sleep, and then she just lays down and falls asleep.
Yeah.
What the hell was this?
I don't know. What's fun is we watched the 181-minute version of this, which the original was 185 minutes. When they recut this for the Blu-ray, they tightened it up a little bit. So this is the tighter sequence that we watched today.
Okay, maybe there was something supposed to happen there. I don't know what.
No, everything that was cut out was completely irrelevant. They said that. And, so this
but they
is
left
just,
this in.
This is what. Without this, it's, you take this out, you take out some other scene with the lady that may be the girlfriend, all of a sudden you're looking at a 70-minute movie.
Right. Okay, so Alex is still going to work. Despite all of it, like, flesh body melt horror and being a murderer and possessed by a cult leader, he's still, he is actually a pretty progressive video store because he's making deliveries of videotapes.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is also questionable in his character because he makes a videotape delivery for a woman who leaves her daughter at home that wants to bang him. And he's like, no, I'm going to go back home to my 22-year-old virgin.
It's like, here's your copy of An Officer and a Gentleman. No, he gets goopy. He's like,
he gets goopy and he doesn't want to murder her.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why doesn't he want to murder her?
Because she's hot.
Okay. Not good enough for him?
He's grooming her.
Oh.
Even worse than the racism that he's displayed and the douchiness he's displayed earlier. He's a groomer on top of things.
Okay, Ted Cruz. All right, so he leaves because he's getting goopy, and he walks down the alley next to where she lives, I guess, on the way back to the video store, which is where he would have came from. And he finds some racism. That's nice. And there's a gang of hoodlums outside.
These guys are really bad hoodlums.
They sure are.
They, not because they're bad at their job, they got members only jackets on. I mean, they look like the Furious Five.
They sure do.
And the Furious Five were not street thugs.
These guys should be breakdancing, not...
They have a boombox.
They have a boombox.
Because he comes back for it after.
Phil, what are you doing? Why are we... No, we're not guys that jump guys. We're guys that jump over each other while dancing. We don't stab, we serve.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our charter.
Other things that don't make sense about these guys, when the robbery, so he's like, hey, you're coming with me, and he's like, fine, I'll come with you, whatever.
Yeah.
And they go like into a place where no one can see.
He's got his bandages on again.
Yeah. Who robs a goopy guy?
Who robs a goopy guy?
The goopy guy doesn't have any money.
Let's just say, I'm not saying that like I'm pure and innocent and I never did anything stupid. I had some misconceptions about the AIDS in 1988 as well. I'm not touching a guy covered in goop.
Now I'm like, you're pretty goopy, guy. I'm going over here.
I mean, I've seen worse on the subway, but still, it doesn't mean I have to fucking touch you. You know?
Just don't make eye contact. Keep walking forward.
Yeah.
No, they rob the goopy guy like he's gonna be the fucking king of riches, and he's like, I don't have any fucking money. I'm a goopy guy.
Goopy.
And then the very well dressed hoodlum pulls out a Bowie knife from his back pocket. How did you not stab yourself in the ass 68 times? Why do you have pockets still?
That's not a knife.
A Bowie knife.
He stabs him, and then his stab wound eats his hand off.
Yeah, this is awesome. I did not see this coming.
I didn't either. So this is where the movie finally decides to make a decision of what it is, because he eats that guy's hand off with his flesh wound, and the guy's like, rolling around on the ground. The other dudes are like, nope, not doing it. Let's go. They run away. And then the guy comes back and grabs the ghetto blaster.
Comes back for the boombox and leaves his brother behind.
No! Finally, it's made a decision. All right. So Alex runs to the bathroom. He's got gross face. Jerry comes in, sees him, and Jerry's like, whoa, bud, what is that? Like chlamydia or something? And I'm like, right. Remember what I said just a few minutes ago? And Alex is like, it's not chlamydia, it's time to die disease. And so he chucks him onto the ground and then bashes his head into the concrete.
It's the second parallel to RoboCop where he's like, I like it. And, kills him. And then the neighbor comes out and she's like, that is hot.
But he's now de-goopified as well because he killed a guy.
And they're like, don't worry, nobody comes in here. Just leave that there. Let's go bang.
Let's go bang. And they go bang. Later, I mean, again, with these goddamn transitions, he just killed his best friend, banged a immortal astral interior lady that's possessing a nerd. And so after that, he's like, I think I'll go read in the park.
Well, it's Zachary who's really in the driver's seat. I think.
You think? Okay.
All right, all right. And he's like, I just need to grab. He's hareming now. That's what he's doing.
Okay.
And I think he's doing the worst sort of hareming because who he's got left that wants to kill herself and get a new body is his daughter.
Zachary's daughter wants to kill herself and get a new body.
The weird old lady that clutches the keys constantly is his daughter.
Lizzie.
Oh, so his wife's dead and she's not in a body yet. So, okay, never mind. He's going to bring his wife back. It wasn't as weird as I thought.
Yes.
He's brought other people back before his wife, though, so maybe he is doing the daughter business.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's yucky.
Yeah, so
but he's hareming.
He's hareming. Okay. Well, Laurie walks up and she's like, yeah, about that fight where you called me a bitch and I threw my ring and the keys at you and ran out and shut the door and so you couldn't get out of your own apartment even though the lock's on your side. I'm really sorry about that. And he's like, yeah, me too. Should we have dinner? Yeah, come by my place. And so they're going to have dinner that night.
Listen, babe, I gotta fly.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Because he's like, doesn't have time for her. Like, have you no self-respect, my lady?
She doesn't.
When you left and you threw the ring on the ground and he's been a douche the entire time.
She is a 22-year-old virgin, though, Sam, so.
So there's, like, in New York City, the whole city is on the hunt for her. Like, they won't.
Yeah, but you got to think about, like, put yourself in her shoes, her mentality. He is the greatest man that's ever lived because she's got nobody to compare to.
Anyone she talks to during the day.
Nope. It's not how the mind of a virgin works.
Ha. Huh.
Yeah. Well, when I was a younger man, I would steer clear of anybody who hadn't banged, like, less than 10 dudes.
10 dudes, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't want none of that. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, you're gonna be like, you want to come meet my parents? And I'm gonna be like, I met you at a bar. Yeah. Nope.
Why are you staring at me?
I puked on your back while we were screwing. I definitely don't want to meet your parents.
Oh.
Go away.
Ew.
I cleaned it up later.
By saying, you need to take a shower.
You're gross. Oh, man.
I'm going to wash
Who
these
puked
sheets.
on your back?
Why'd you do that? I didn't do anything. Yeah, you did. Your butt smelled and I puked.
You've been drinking Viper or something?
This is gross.
I'm leaving.
This is grosser than the movie we just watched. That's really bad. That's really bad.
Don't you ever talk to me again, lady. Slam the door. Go home and sleep in my nice, comfortable bed by myself. That's the kind of guy I was, Sam. Oh, boy, my son's going to look up to me someday.
The worst is when he's going to be like in his 20s and he thinks he's rowdy and you start telling him stories like my dad would tell us and we're like, oh, fuck, we are G-rated. You, sir, are an animal.
All right. So the detective stops Laurie, and he's like, hey, I understand you knew a guy named Jerry, and also you're mixed up with this guy named Alex, who is my prime suspect for being a hooker murderer. She's like, She leaves.
She's like, he would never see a hooker, and he's like, are you a virgin? And she's like, yes. How old are you? 22. How old is he? 23. He's banging hookers.
It's like all of them.
All of them.
Is this movie just an allegory for STDs?
And drug use, because of there's that scene with him and Jerry where Jerry's like, nobody does this without being on drugs. And then he totally does the commercial for drug use guy.
Right. Yeah. But also, like, he implies he's got STDs. And where do you get those STDs from? Hookers. Why would he be banging a hook? I mean, maybe, yeah.
And he has sex with a neighbor and he's got the goopy.
Yeah.
Intentional? I don't know, but it's totally the clap.
Yeah, it's just like it. Just like it. I mean, whew. 1 in 4. Okay, so she goes over to Alex's and they start making out, and that cuts, and they go into the bedroom, and I guess they bang. I guess she's not.
Oh, yes, they do. And I had to write this down because after he takes her virginity, he turns to her before he goes and takes a shower. He's not even a color. He's just like, I need to get your virgin yuck off my dong.
Yep.
I'm going to go take a shower. But before he does that, he turns to her. He says, just like a woman, laying on her ass, letting a man do all the work.
He calls.
And she's like, giggle, giggle.
She loves it. He called her a dead fish. What did you expect, you nutsack? She's a goddamn 22-year-old virgin. She doesn't know what she's doing. Nobody's even told her how any of this works.
She's also too happy. She would have been crying.
Oh, yeah.
22, that built up, she would have... The wiener comes out, the tears are flowing.
She's the one that needs to be in the shower. Hey, you're getting your period blood all over my dirty ass mattress, and also
bad timing.
I'm trying to keep...
How did we do this? How did we get grosser than the movie?
Well, it's true.
It's just awful.
It's true.
It's awful.
You know, I didn't think that mattress could get any worse until you put your hymen all over it.
Oh, God.
I mean, look, I had already destroyed it, but I didn't make this worse. I just put more of the stuff that I had on there before, but you come in here.
You're covering up Jerry's cum. What the fuck?
Oh, look, now the flowers are roses.
Jesus Christ, this is so gross. So gross.
Okay. All right.
You keep pulling me back into it. I'm trying to drag us out of it. You're like pulling me back in.
This is one of the worst things I've ever heard a man say in a movie to a woman, though.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's typical. The fuck, man? It's like, and then she's like, oh, you're such a tease.
Mm-hmm.
No, he just punch him. Oh, we should also mention that progressively throughout this entire movie, Alex's hair is getting grayer and grayer.
Yeah, he's turning into
Zachary.
What's his name? Zachary.
Yeah. Only in the hair department though, and the dick department. Not the dick.
Well,
his penis. He's a dick.
He only has to get gray because Zachary is just him in a picture with gray hair.
Right.
And a hood.
So human identity is totally determined by the color volume of your hair.
Sure.
Okay.
It's getting flatter too, like he doesn't use conditioner anymore.
Yeah, he looks worse. He looks bad. So she finds his pillow has goop on it, which, you know, I mean, you did just screw. Sometimes that happens, you know. Pull out. You don't want to get her pregnant.
Yeah.
Got some goop up there.
You just, you know.
So she doesn't think anything of it. She's like, oh, it looks like brains, but I've never seen semen before, so what do I know?
What's that? Extra trajectory. That's what that is. It had been a while.
He was aiming for the astral exterior.
Mm-hmm. He hit his own pillow. Gonna have to wash that. God damn it! I was trying. Oh,
yeah.
Aim is off today.
I'll do it tomorrow. I'm already sleeping on this mattress. How much worse can it get?
Yeah.
All right.
It's just terrible when you waste that like once a month extra like large load and you miss your target. You're like, I knew I would never make it in the pornos.
The poster of Tawny Katane on the wall.
Yeah. You like,
it's still mint.
You hit your keyboard and you're like, oh, God damn it. Oh, no.
All right, so she's like, she doesn't think anything of it. She goes walking around the kitchen. She sees more goop. She sees all these clues. She finds the book about flesh infection. What the fuck is the book called? Flesh studies? I don't know. And he starts rubbing her shoulders, and she's like, oh, that's so nice. She's like, oh, wait, that hurts a little. He's like, good, because that's what it should feel like when I'm going to kill you. Because he's goopy again.
Yeah.
So she picks up the fork that's on the dining table. She stabs him in the side. He grabs the fork out of his body, stabs her in the leg, and then kisses her with his goopy face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is gross.
Jackie would have barfed right here.
Sandra actually buried her face in the pillow when it was happening. Mm-hmm. It was gross. I laughed out loud hysterically.
Yep. So she takes the fork out of first leg and stabs him in the head, and then she grabs another knife and cuts his tummy open.
And then My largest note that I took 4 loans to write, 4 lines of my paper are written with 5 exclamation points that says, sausages!
Some link sausages and some fruit salad come out.
There's like a bunch of kielbasa and a pineapple, and it's fucking amazing.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It was, when the hand gets eaten with the knife in it, you're like, oh shit, this thing knows what it's doing.
Right.
And then you realize, no, it really knows what it's doing. They're saving up. They are going to blow their load that we've been talking about for a while all at once. And they're like, bananas!
Uh-huh. But it gets better because he's like on the ground, unfazed by his guts being on the ground, or guts, whatever he's got for guts anymore. And he starts stuffing them back in his tummy.
Yeah.
And she's just standing there.
What would you do?
Leave! Nope. I'm gone. Nope. Goodbye. And so he keeps coming. He stands up. His tummy's all sort of healed back up. And he's coming at her. And so she stabs him in the shoulder. And he goes down and bleeds whatever for a little goops for a little while.
Goops.
And then he gets up and he's keeping coming. So she stabs him in the neck with the freaking butcher's knife halfway down his throat.
She cleaves him.
Yeah, cleaves him. And he looks at her and says, do it, Laurie. She's like, ah! So she chops his head off.
Mm-hmm. Tosses it. She like
chucks it, yeah.
It's in one move. She gets all the way through, and then like the Japanese steakhouse where they're cutting, and then they flip the steaks into your mouth. She like cuts his head off and then tosses it with the cleaver across the room.
Oh, that one landed in my hair.
Just because she's like, well, you put your guts back in, so I don't want this to reattach.
I guess.
She's clever.
But he's still not dead.
As a cleaver.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There it is.
She's got a ruined beaver.
Sharp, that one.
It's a ruined beaver cleaver. I don't know.
Beaver cleaver?
I don't know how you'd leave it to beaver to this scene.
Oh, Wally.
His head bounced off the Wally there, Beeve.
Oh.
Beeve cleave. Cleaver beef. Okay. He's still not dead, though.
Nope.
Both sides of him are not dead. His dismembered body's still doing pretty good, even though it's gooping all out the top. And his head's got sausages and fruit salad coming out of it, and it's on the floor.
Yeah.
Still alive.
And it's talking now.
Yeah. Yep. So she chops one of its arms off.
Well, before this is the part did you rewind to try to see what he says?
Oh,
what
yeah.
the head says?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
He goes,
so, I went back like 6 times when we tried to figure out what he said, and then I turned the closed caption on to see if it was captioned, and it was captioned improperly. What the caption says in the closed caption was, "Here's to our new apartment," and there wasn't enough syllables for that to be it. So I did it like 6 or 7 times, and this is the best that I can get when his disembodied head turns up to her, and he says, "Heads up, pick-a-bob."
Heads up, pick-a-bob.
That's all I can
The pick-a-bob part I agree with. I think that's what he says is pick-a-bob. But I couldn't, it was a mishmash. It made and then, later he's talking shit, and it sounds fine, because he's like, time to die. And I
think this is a flubbed line in only so much film.
Yeah, maybe.
Heads up, pick-a-bob. That's what he says.
Heads up, pick-a-bob. That makes sense. That checks out.
I'm Bob 1, he's Bob 2. Pick one.
Pick-a-bob. Heads up. If you stuck him into a bathtub filled with water, he would be Bob.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. According to John Roberts, once you're opened up like that, you just sink to the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah.
John Roberts, okay.
That's his name, right?
Yeah,
the
it is.
Cowboy.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
Couldn't go an episode without talking about him.
Yeah, he's a horrifying man.
Oh. Okay, so she chops his arm off. He's still coming. She chops his hand off. The torso is still coming. And so she kicks it in the balls, and it's dummy area. Now it has teeth growing in it. That's like, feed me, Seymour. And the head's like, kill her. Wait, so you're not in command of the toy? The head is its own entity?
So C-3PO right here.
Yeah, no shit. Huh?
It's awesome. And I think the body dies.
The body's done. It's out of goop.
Hits the couch and the head's like, come on, you got more in you. And it's just like, bleh, bleh, bleh.
Yeah, spits out the
just
last one's
gooping
goop.
out, looks like egg yolks. And all over the couch. Couch is ruined. It's Reagan-era trash anyway.
No, it looks like that mattress.
Mattress still looks worse.
Yeah, so it's done. So she grabs a new knife and she stabs the head in the side of it, and it then is like, rolls over, and it comes apart like the fucking thing.
It opens up like the front of a cargo plane. And the brain is like, you can't get me, I'm getting out of here. And the brain starts like flopping across the floor like it's going to get away. And then I don't know, like, I just need to get to the closet. I'm going to hide next to my box of trophies. She's going to leave. I'll sneak back into the head. I'll use my tongue to roll over to the body, and I'll just get myself back together.
Yeah, that's a good plan, actually. It doesn't work, though. She chops it right up.
No, she just chops that brain right up. And when the brain comes out of the head, I'm actually standing up and clapping.
Hannibal Lecter's the shit out of it.
At this point, Sandra's now laughing her ass off because it's so fucking ridiculous.
So over the top. See, Elizabeth Banks, this is how you fucking do it.
He didn't make any money.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. He didn't spend any either. All right.
In terms of his own money, he spent a lot.
So later, the detective, he stops by and he's like, hey, tenants that live in this building, have you seen that Alex guy anywhere? They're like, nope, I haven't seen him. I don't know where. He must have just packed off and left. Check with the girlfriend.
Son of a bitch trashed the apartment.
Yep, typical.
Like, what? And he's like, how exactly did he trash the apartment? With murder? No, he doesn't do that. And he doesn't look in the trash cans. He's just like, all right, oh, shit, those guys have got some cocaine. I'm just going to go shake them down and take their coke. I'll see you guys later.
No, you're missing the big thing.
Oh, yeah.
He says, you know what? Rent's getting out of control in this city. That's a pretty nice place. I mind if I take over the lease on that apartment? And they're like, hell yeah.
You've just grabbed my first question.
Cycle starts again. Questions. Okay, what's the question?
Are we to questions?
Yeah, that's the end of the movie.
Okay, I don't even have to write this one down then. I have the answer to this question, but I want your answer. What happens when the detective takes over the apartment?
Well, I'm assuming they seem pretty chuffed about it. Like, they don't have to put an ad in the newspaper because that's what they were doing before, so they get to save that money. But also, like, he's a cop, so now they got a cop. They're going to possess a cop, so if the cops come sniffing around, even though the cops are not very good, they just pay them off with coke before. Now they get to save the coke costs. They get to keep the coke for themselves and don't have to give the cops any coke bribes. And just be like, hey, nope, show my badge, and there's no dead hookers in the trash here. Go look someplace else, other cops.
No, that's not what happens.
Okay, all right.
He's too old for the gal across the hallway.
Definitely.
He's not going to be able to bang her like she wants to be banged.
Well, he was banging hookers.
Yeah, but that's not like, that doesn't mean
you don't need
doing
to satisfy a hooker. Yeah, you're right.
You don't.
Yeah.
You're just, it can be very shameful, personally, the things that you do in that situation, I would imagine. What happens is that Zachary gets his first glimpse into what he's going to have to share for a psyche, and he's like, astral realm, interior to his daughter, like, no, we got to fucking kill this guy. He's a coked out maniac. I can't be in that head. It's not going to work. So they just have to kill him.
But then isn't the jig up? They killed the cop.
The trash can has been full of dead bodies.
You can kill hookers and stuff them in the trash cans in New York City. You cannot kill a cop and think you're going to get away with it. It's cop land, Sam.
I don't know.
I think you can't kill that cop.
Okay. All right. All right.
Man, I think that's the only protected citizenship of NYC in 1988.
So then Zachary has, because he's already gone in bloodlust, and I'm assuming that because of how this went and how they are always renting the apartment out, that he always goes sideways and never really gets it done with the possession because he's gone too bloodlusty.
Yeah, right.
So maybe this is the one where he actually, this is the clearance. He's like, okay, we've got the right guy. Now I can really go full bananas. And this guy's already full bananas because he's a coked out dirty cop. That'd be a good movie.
Well, he knows where to get hookers. All right, let's run with that. Why does he get goopy? What does goop have to do with astral interior possession?
The slime must be appeased.
What is the slime?
What is the slime?
Okay, so Zachary, the only thing I can think of is that after you eat the slime, that green batch of slime is where Zachary's soul lives, and so you consume Zachary. But why do you get goopy?
All I know is that the rules of this supernatural possession / power are that once you are ingesting the goop, you become goopy if you don't murder. From the looks of Nicole, whatever the neighbor's name is.
Nicole, yeah.
She preemptively murders as she doesn't like to be goopy at all.
Right.
So as long as you appease the goop by murdering on a regular basis, you'll never get goopy.
Okay.
I cannot answer why or how.
All right, I got a theory that we kind of flushed out during the movie that it's the man with two brains. You're still like there's a fight over the body.
Yes.
And so the murder side of it is like, well, you better kill somebody and make me have fun because I like murder, or you're gonna get grody. And they say ectoplasm in the right.
Okay, so that's the way. That's how it works. If you don't, ectoplasming.
It's punishment for not murdering people.
You're going to be at your in-laws' house. I'm going to goop out. You're going to get embarrassed. Murder.
Yeah, murder. I think that sums it up. Okay.
And to think that no screenwriting podcast had ever invited him on until just recently.
No shit. I want to make is this goopier than Street Trash?
No, because Street Trash is goopy all the way. It's not less goopy than Street Trash. They're a special, like, if you're out there in podcast land and you haven't watched either of these, guess what, baby? This is a fucking double feature.
Yeah. I
almost want to lead with Street Trash because Street Trash is a constant level of goop. It is constant goop for a sustained period that is unmatched. Whereas this is like, when is it going to get goopy? And when it gets goopy, you're like, holy shit, this is goopy. And so it's like you get Street Trash and you're like, okay, I'm in with the goop. And then you get the goop taken away from you in that second movie. You're like, what is going on? Why is that guy such a dickhead? She's kind of hot, but why does she get to play both parts? Because they can't get anybody hotter, and she's pretty hot. Where's the goop? And then the goop happens, and you're like, goop!
Goop!
Holy goop!
It is holy goop. Did you get queasy at any point in time?
No.
Okay.
It was too funny.
I think I've seen it all because during this entire movie, I was mowing down on Tostitos and spinach and artichoke dip.
Yeah, I even got a cheese stick in the middle of it.
Oh, dude. Okay. That's rookie shit. I was eating dip, Sam.
I wasn't that hungry.
Dip.
I mean, I would have eaten an omelet while watching this movie. Yes.
Spinach,
also, we talked about things on this podcast
of artichokes with drippy tendrils of spinach in mayonnaise.
I rubbed raw squid on my face and jacked off.
I'm pretty comfortable with goop.
No. See, then I took it right back to where I was trying to get away from. We were just as gross as a goddamn movie on this podcast.
Yes, we were. It's in the. All right, final recommendations. Sam, go ahead.
I just said if you haven't seen it, make it a double feature with fucking street trash.
That's definitely the best way to do it.
You can handle goop. If you can't handle goop, get a friend. See how you guys do. If you make it through street trash, just keep going, because this shit's fucking goopy.
I definitely think it's like that's the ideal scenario is a double feature with street trash and Bad Movie Sunday or Bad Movie Saturday or wherever you do your bad movies. Outside
and if you've got
of that, wow, would I recommend this to the casual viewer? Probably, because the end is so fucking nanners.
It's so bananas that it's like if you like bad movies, this is a must.
I think it's a do. I'm not, unless you don't like goop. I am not going to let Jackie watch this. I will also say that this is going to be the only time I ever watch this movie because who I'm married to. So yeah, that's it.
I would say if you're a goop fan, up your ante and have a bunch of multicolored dips while you watch these two movies.
Yeah. see how your living room floor does with your queasy pals. You might have a floor that looks like the mattress in this movie. All right, that's your podcast for this week. Next week, it's going to be Sam's pick. Okay.
I was going to just, shoot off and do Killer Rack, but Jackie's coming back, so if it's goopy, I don't want her to have to deal with it.
Yeah, you got to take a chance.
So I need to make another pick. I don't know what it is yet.
All right. Have a great weekend. Get to the chopper.